Hey, it's Jay Soloff from Investors Alley with the Options Trade of the Week. So, with earnings coming up, I'm going back to my favorite tool for options analysis, Market Chameleon, and I'm looking at the unusual option volume. Now, this is a good tool all year round, but particularly around earnings, you can see what kind of stocks are getting a lot of action, maybe directional action, up bullish or bearish. Prior to earnings may give you some clues as to how the big traders and institutions are positioning themselves. And you can see here you have a column with earnings and the stuff that's coming up pretty quick. So you can kind of scroll down, find something you may see interesting, or find an earnings that's period that's coming up really soon. So this one caught my eye, Zynga. If you remember, Zynga used to be the super popular gaming company. They made Farmville for Facebook, and now they mostly do mobile games. They have like Texas Hold'em, and they have a few other things. So it's kind of a company that went public and kind of fell off the radar. Stock didn't do particularly well, but I noticed that it's actually up about 60% year to date, from about 3 something to the 6 something level. So has seen some action, and now they have earnings, and it looks like there's a ton of bullish option play on it. 95% calls to 5% puts. Almost certainly a bullish signal here, and looks like about twice the volume that it normally does, almost 20,000 options. So if we click on that, we can take a closer look. Here's the options chain, and up here is this key trades tab, and I think this is a good way to kind of see what some of the big trades are. You can see here's a pretty big out of the money call trade, but here is what we're looking for here. This is an 8,000. This is almost not quite half the volume is done in this buy right. So this is probably a covered call, and what's interesting, it's done all the way out to January 21st. January 2021, so January 15th of 2021, so a year and a half from now. So that's obviously a long time to hold a trade. So let's take a closer look at it, and you can see that it was the 10 strike call sold for 37 cents with the stock at 637. So this is interesting for a few reasons. One, a year and a half is a long time for a covered call, because a covered call does cap your gains. So you might say, well, why do I want to cap my gains at 10? Well, 10 is quite a bit. The stock at 637, we're talking about over 50% gain that you could still make on the stock before it gets capped. Meanwhile, you're collecting that 37 cents, which works out to with at this many options, $300,000. So this could be someone who's holding shares in a fund or an insider or someone like that just wants to make some extra money on their shares while they're holding it. They want to do this trade before earnings come out, because maybe there's going to be a big move on earnings, but this is not necessarily an earnings trade because it's a year and a half. But you're talking about 37 cents. It's over 2% yield. Now that may not be a lot for a year and a half, but if you're just holding the shares in an account and you're waiting for them for the long term, then why not make an extra 2%? I mean, Zynga doesn't offer a dividend, so it's just a way to make some extra yield, and still give yourself a chance to make some upside potential. And you can see, so the 90-day average is 13,000, and we almost 20,000 traded a day, which isn't that unusual before earnings. But when it's in a one block like that 8,000 block covered call, then that definitely is something that can sort of spark some more trades and get people's attention. So earnings are the 31st. There is no dividend yield, so this is just a reasonable way, if you're holding the shares anyways and you're bullish on them, that you can earn some yield on it without necessarily capping your upside potential. So this is something, if you want to have sort of a cheaper stock in your account with some upside potential that's had a really good year, and maybe it's going to continue up, but you want to generate some yield while you hold it, this covered call trade is a way that you can do that. If you're interested in learning more about covered calls and just different option strategies in general, You can click on the link that's included here, and it'll take you to my option trading mastery course, which is 6 hours of videos, over 6 hours of videos with 11 different courses on how to do all different kinds of option trading strategies. So if you're learning about this and you want some more information, it's a really good source for your education. Thanks a lot, and enjoy your trading.